Xinjiang in China. I'm an Uyghur girl. I'm gonna try to teach my Korean friend how to introduce herself in Uyghur language.
Hello amazing viewer, delighted to have you once more at Comfort for Life. You are new here. If I bring to you compilation of TikTok and Red Note videos for educational purposes, why don't you subscribe? And to my returning viewers, I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm back again with another compilation. We are going to look into the Uyghur people. I can't pronounce it the way the girl pronounced it. Uyghur. Anyway, Uyghur. Let's say Uyghur at this point, because so many people mispronounce this and I'm part of them. So I've been seeing comments flooding under Chinese posts that will always say free Uyghurs, free Uyghurs. I'm not here to clear the misconceptions about the freedom that you are doubting about, but I am here to show you how what you believe about these people is affecting them and their business. So along the way, I know you're part of the people who could be also asking out of curiosity. So this video is going to highlight on the things that you've been doubting about. Like the video and subscribe if you're new here. Let's dive into this.
Hi guys. So recently, Guobang Festival, Urban Hate, was happening in Xinjiang. Its official name is this. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. This is a super important local holiday here, kind of like Chinese New Year or Christmas in the West. While traveling, I met some local Xinjiang friends who are ethnic Kazakhs. They're not super fluent in Mandarin, but honestly, it didn't get in the way of us hanging out at all. They invited me to celebrate the festival with them.
They invite me to drink this milk. Very good.
So, Urban Hate is also called the Festival of Sacrifice. In Xinjiang, it's common to slaughter a sheep and then cook mutton. They lay out this huge spread of food for guests, like nuts, dates, fruits, you name it.
这个到底是怎么吃的呀？这个
是叫馓子，然后你可以直接这样掰开。
掰开。
对。
The main dish, of course, are the mutton and lamb stew.
This mutton here is a little bit different. Mutton elsewhere usually have a kind of like a gamey smell, but this mutton's doesn't.
After everything was prepared, their relatives and friends will come over to visit each other's homes.
哎，我有个问题，你现在是有信穆斯林吗？
不会，我们其实他们也有这样子，但是像我们的话，如果说你是受了这样的高等教育，然后就是去上学啊这样子之后，其实不会。
You know, another really big part of Urban Hate is this traditional game called grabbing the sheep. Basically, it is about a bunch of guys on horses compete to grab the sheep. Whoever snatches and hold on to it wins. So we hooked up with some local herders who took us to watch the game, of course, on horseback. The sports out on the grasslands, like a little rest station. It had water, fat sheep, a kitchen area, and a sleeping space.
So in the summer, the nomad will live here, sleep here, and cook here. But in the winter, they will move back to the town because it's very cold here.
Let's say hello in Kazakh language.
你好，
Jasma. Jasma.
Then we got to the place to watch the game. Honestly, as an honest person, this is honestly the best view I could get with my drone. Didn't see anything, right? So, we decided to ride our horses up to the highest point we could reach to celebrate our Urban Hate.
I am currently in Xinjiang in China.
There has also been commentaries of people speaking of not being able to visit Xinjiang. But then when I saw a foreigner who has visited that place, I was like, maybe it's time that you find the best tour guide so that you're able to reach your destination if this is the place you want to be. Because this is beautiful to see. I don't see anything wrong with this. People are just happy celebrating their culture. What else to say? What left to say? Find the best tour guide.
大家知不知道，中东国家的大部分女性可能一辈子都改不掉戴头巾的命运？我很庆幸我出生在中国。战争不断，民不聊生，就是说出生在中国是我非常自豪与庆幸的事情，因为在我们国家，我们可以非常自信。
No, I'm not going to talk about it. When it comes to China, this is easily the most talked about topic. There's so much information out there and you really just need to go and get it. You don't need me to help you pick a side. In fact, I feel like some of these commenters want me to talk about it just so they can hear me side with them. I'll leave you guys with one thing, which is I've seen videos of Uyghurs and Muslims posting on social media like, hey, day in the life in Xinjiang. Come with me, it's so nice here, look. And I've seen videos of Uyghurs in Flushing, New York, talking to Chinese people in Chinese, serving them at their restaurant, everybody's happy. And I just feel like that kind of content should tell you all you need to know. There are some things that when you see them, it's kind of undeniable what's happening and what's not to a great extent. You know what I mean?
Forced labor of Uyghurs in the region of Xinjiang.
The New York Times is back with some anti-China propaganda, so let's break it down. The Xinjiang forced labor smears have already been debunked several times, but apparently they have evidence, so let's examine it.
The investigation was based on thousands of user-generated videos.
User-generated videos like these, but we can't see the people, we can't see their faces, we can't tell if they're Uyghurs, we can't tell if they're actually forced to work there or if they're just working there, we can't even tell where these factories are situated. Also this.
Workers being transferred out of Xinjiang wearing matching baseball caps.
And the evidence is that they're wearing matching caps because that is a crime against humanity. For sure. And also, of course,
government documents. In 2021, the United States passed a law that essentially banned the import of goods from the Xinjiang region.
So, like, US government documents? That's the evidence. Gotcha. And what else do you have?
Company statements. We've reached out to all the companies involved in our investigation. So far, only BMW has said that the company may be a supplier, but most others just told us that they don't accept forced labor in their supply chains.
So no evidence. But he does have this handy graphic explaining how employment recruitment agencies work. What we can sort of gather from here is that anytime any company hires a Uyghur, they're going to be accused of forced labor. And that is a real incentive to not hire Uyghurs and to not base companies in the Xinjiang region. The comments under my debunking the New York Times forced labor claims in Xinjiang, 90% of them are totally on it. I'm so impressed with them. I wanted to see whether or not this meant that people in general are no longer falling for the propaganda. So I went to check the New York Times TikTok, and their reel actually only has over 8,000 views. So I went to check their IG because on that account, they have 19 million followers. And these are the first comments that popped up for me. The US keeps invading or bombing Muslim countries, but suddenly they start worrying about Muslims in China. Please stop the propaganda. I have a Uyghur friend who works in Hong Kong as a real estate agent and another Uyghur friend of mine as a badminton instructor in Sichuan. Are they both counted as slaves because of their ethnicity? Some random video clips and it's called journalism. It's not called forced labor. It's called finding a job to live a normal life in a normal factory in China. Nobody wants to work and get free meals, so everybody are forced labor. There are forced labor everywhere in the world, unless you actually don't want Uyghurs to find a normal living job. So I mean, they're pretty good. Granted, this is not the most scientific approach, right? But do you think this means that most people aren't falling for this propaganda?
How about free the Philippines? You never hear these people saying free the Philippines. You never hear these people saying free Laos. Cambodia, free China of its sweatshops. We never actually want to free the victims of Western colonialism. The US would like to free Uyghurs from their homes and livelihoods so that they can take over Xinjiang, and they're gonna blame China for doing that. Because under China's rule, they are a happily living and growing population, and they are also very outspoken about being used as a tool for Western propaganda. And it's literally because of trade routes. If you look at where Xinjiang is on a map, if you look at where Inner Mongolia is on a map, if you look at where Tibet is on a map, Taiwan is a US military base, so is Okinawa, Japan. I saw some comments in my other video bringing that up as a gotcha. My point is, all of these things listed here need to be freed from America. All of the things I listed previously in this video need to be freed from America. We're gonna blame China for all the wrongdoings, that's fine. Because the real power lies where the power actually lies. It doesn't lie in the bullshit that you have to tell yourselves in order to feel powerful.
Okay, let me try to answer a couple ways that Uyghur are treated differently from Han ethnicity in China. I don't know what it's mean, okay? I was born in the 70s in China. I grew up in China, and at that time, we have one-child policy. But one-child policy only applied to Han ethnicity. So if you are Uyghur, you don't have one-child policy. You can have as many kids as you want. I don't know whether that counts as minor, okay? That's one thing, one huge difference. Otherwise, I never met somebody who's Uyghur, I couldn't say. But when I went to college, so we all have to go through the national exam we call the Gaokao. So in Gaokao, 1 point difference will change your life, whether you go to the top university or the second tier university. So every point count, okay? But if you are Uyghur, you get 10 free points. Some tell me 20, because I can't remember, okay? You get 20 points or 10 points because you're Uyghur. I don't know whether that's mean, okay? And then when I went to college, so I went to college in Hefei. So Hefei is still far from Xinjiang, but in the university, we have Qingzhen Sitang, which is a restaurant just for Muslim students. I forget the words. Okay, anyway, so I don't know whether that's mean they're having a restaurant, the cafeteria that just for you, but not for. Anyway, I don't know whether that's mean. That's all I can think of. That how people from Uyghur are treated different from Han ethnicity. And then I graduated college. I came to the United States. That's all I knowledge about being a Uyghur or being a Han ethnicity in China. I don't know. They are treated differently, but which one is treated meaner? I don't know.
Which one?
Uyghur.
In terms of legislation, it's not like Muslim population is in the best conditions.
You're free to go to a mosque, and you can see a lot of mosques in Xinjiang.
I know, but what about the Uyghur ethnicity?
We're living fine as hell.
What about the cultural aspects of it? As in the language, it's a language that's being lost progressively. What I'm saying is that in terms of education, it's not predominantly in your language of choice. Mandarin is the preferred language, correct?
Not correct. In school, they teach Uyghur language or any other minority language like Mongolian language. In Tibet, they have their own language. And then Mandarin. Of course, we all need to learn Mandarin, our official language.
I know.
We lost in our Uyghur language? Come on. Everybody speaks Uyghur language in Xinjiang. Have you ever been to Xinjiang before? And then on the streets, you can see all the signs like in the stores. They're all written in Uyghur. And even the cash, bro, the cash is literally Uyghur language on it. Like the RMB.
I know.
So how do you define a language is being lost?
The thing is that it's not lost it's being lost. If you don't even speak fluent English, we cannot have a conversation, so bye-bye.
Prior to becoming part of China, 95% of Tibetans lived in serfdom, which was essentially slavery. China invaded Tibet. The UK invaded Tibet in 1903. I'm just begging you guys to do the basic littlest amount of research. Read a book that is not produced by the CIA or other Western powers. I bought this one in a bookstore in Thailand. It's called Tibet, No Longer Medieval. I can't possibly summarize it for you because there's so much history here. Few areas in the world were as backwards economically and culturally as old Tibet. Serfs worked in the field with primitive tools. What was left for them out of the harvest was at best barely enough for a meager supply of food and seed. And often not even that. Industry did not exist. Even matches and nails were imported. There were no modern roads. Transportation was by pack animals or on human backs. These slave owners made these serfs carry them on their backs.
I don't understand how China's government works. They are governed by Marxist principles.
Yes, they have liberalized their economy and they have allowed capitalists to contribute, which I don't really agree with. But there's this thing called dialectical materialism. In the simplest of terms, you observe the material conditions around you and make changes. Once those changes are implemented, you observe again and either keep the changes or change again based on the material conditions that the changes contributed to. No, things are not perfect in Xinjiang. There's no more slavery. Serfs for the first time were given health care, they were given land, they have farm animals, they were allowed voting rights. What they're actually upset about is this whole Western narrative against them because it's preventing them from selling their goods abroad. So who's really hurting Tibetans? You or China?
I'm glad you watched this extent. Thank you so much for keeping it at Comfort for Life. It has been an informational compilation. I really don't have much to say. You can tell that the propaganda that you might be believing, or let me say the misinformation that you've been getting out there, you know, is just weird that it is limiting these people's ability to be known. They're out there. They're on social media. Can you check them out? Can you search? Which side of internet are you always on? Because I am using the same internet that you're using to maybe so to get false information from. How is your selection of knowledge out there? Do you have a specific place where you're getting negative things about everything that I don't know about? Kindly, I really want to know. You can see how propaganda can affect people in a way. These are people who need to be known. And this also for the Uyghurs who are watching this video right now. Every time you post a video, maybe put America as a location or just tag them. Tag someone you know from America. Tag America or put America as a location. Just try to make sure that they know about you because you guys are so cute, are so beautiful, are so, I don't know. You're not supposed to be kept in a box somewhere, guys. And I know you're not there. Thank you so much for being here.
It's interesting that you say that. I'm actually in a restaurant of Uyghurs, Muslim people from northwest China. And you can tell they're all wearing their traditional garments. In China, it's not discriminatory to allow an ethnicity to have their culture operate within the country in a way that's very pure. So in the United States, we would say, oh, that's discrimination to hire everyone from that region that's going to dress a certain way or have a certain culture. But in China, they truly embrace it. So if you actually talk to the people in China, or if you leave your home country and travel, what you'll find is the Uyghurs are kind of treated extremely well in China, and they have their own culture here as well. So with that said, the one complaint I've heard from Uyghur people is that Americans were the main cause of the disruption in their cotton industry because we caused this whole misinformation campaign about how they were mistreated and using slave labor and why you shouldn't buy their cotton. But that changed the way that they were exporting their cotton and they had to go to other countries. So other than that, these people have very few concerns, and you can tell it's different here in China. And hopefully this was helpful and shows you the side of China you wouldn't otherwise see or hear.